Welcome to ZenLight 8, your go-to source for science-backed secrets to live longer and stronger. Ever wonder how much time you've got left after hitting 70? As the years go by, your body's quietly dropping hints, subtle yet powerful signs that reveal what's ahead for your health. In this video, ZenLight 8 uncovers 7 scientifically proven signs that can predict your lifespan after 70. No guesswork, no myths, just real insights from researchers and doctors, plus simple tips you can start using today. Stick around to the end to find out where you stand on your journey to a vibrant life and how to add more thriving years to your future. Sign 1, your walking speed. Do you ever stop to think about how fast you move through the world? Not in a car or on a bike, but just you and your 2 legs carrying you step by step. It's one of those things we don't often notice until it starts to change. But here's the kicker. Once you hit 70, how quickly and confidently you walk could be one of the biggest clues about how long you'll live. It's not some mysterious code buried in your DNA or a complicated medical test you need to take. It's right there in plain sight, your walking speed. Studies have shown that people who keep a steady, brisk pace well into their 70s and beyond tend to outlive those who slow down or shuffle along. Why? Because your walking speed isn't just about your legs. It's a window into your overall health, from your muscles to your heart to your brain. Let's dive into why this matters, what it's telling you, and most importantly, what you can do about it if your pace isn't what it used to be. Imagine 2 neighbors, Linda and Tom, both 72 years old. Linda's the type who's always on the move. Every morning, she's out walking her dog, keeping a solid pace. Not racing, but steady and sure. She crosses the street without hesitation, climbs the stairs to her porch without a second thought, and still has energy to spare. Tom, on the other hand, used to be active too. He'd mow the lawn, take long strolls with his wife, even play a little pickup basketball with his grandkids. But over the last couple of years, something's shifted. He's slowed down. A walk to the mailbox feels like a chore, and he started pausing halfway up the stairs to catch his breath. His steps aren't as firm. He shuffles a bit, sometimes wobbling if the ground's uneven. Linda's brisk stride suggests her body's still firing on all cylinders, while Tom's slower, unsteady gait might be whispering that his health's taken a hit. The difference between them isn't just about how fast they move, it's about what's happening inside. So why does walking speed matter so much after 70? Researchers have found it's like a health report card you carry with you every day. A steady, brisk pace shows that your muscles are strong, your heart and lungs are pumping efficiently, and your brain's still sharp enough to coordinate it all. Think of your legs as the foundation of a house. If they're solid, the whole structure holds up well. But if that foundation starts to crumble, everything else feels the strain. A slow or unsteady walk can point to bigger problems under the surface. Muscle weakness from not moving enough, poor circulation that's starving your tissues of oxygen, or even early signs of neurological trouble like Parkinson's or dementia. It's not just getting old. It's your body waving a little red flag, asking you to pay attention. Let's break it down a bit. First, there's muscle strength. After 70, you naturally lose some muscle mass. It's called sarcopenia, and it happens to everyone to some degree. But how much you lose and how well you fight it makes a huge difference. If you're still walking briskly, it means your legs have enough power to push you forward without faltering. That strength doesn't just keep you moving, it protects you from falls, which are one of the biggest risks for older adults. A fall at 75 can mean a broken hip, months of recovery, or worse. Now look at someone like Tom. His slower pace might mean his muscles are weakening faster than they should. He's not lifting his feet as high, his strides shorter, and he's more likely to trip over a crack in the sidewalk. That's not just inconvenient, it's a warning sign. Then there's your cardiovascular system. Walking at a decent clip gets your heart pumping and your blood flowing. It's like a mini workout every time you step out the door. Studies, like one from the Journal of the American Medical Association, have shown that faster walkers over 70 have lower rates of heart disease and stroke. Why? Because their hearts and lungs are still in the game, delivering oxygen where it's needed. If you're slowing down, though, it could mean your cardiovascular fitness is slipping. Maybe your heart's not as efficient as it once was, or your lungs can't keep up. That shortness of breath Tom feels on the stairs? It's not just aging. It could be a sign his system's struggling to keep pace with his body's demands. And don't forget your brain. Walking isn't just physical, it's mental too. Every step requires balance, coordination, and quick reactions. If you're dodging a puddle or turning a corner without thinking twice, your nervous system's still sharp. Research from the University of Pittsburgh found that slower walking speeds in older adults often correlate with cognitive decline. It's not that walking keeps your brain young, though exercise does help. It's that a slowing gait can signal the brain's losing its grip on those fine motor skills. For someone like Linda, her confident stride shows her brain's still calling the shots. For Tom, that unsteadiness might hint at something deeper brewing. But here's the best part. Your walking speed isn't a life sentence. It's not like your height or eye color, something you're stuck with forever. If you've noticed yourself slowing down, dragging your feet, or feeling shaky when you move, you can turn it around. The science backs this up, and real people prove it every day. Take Sarah, a 74-year-old retiree who started feeling sluggish a few years ago. She'd take forever to get across the parking lot, and her kids kept telling her she looked unsteady. Instead of shrugging it off as just getting old, she decided to act. She started small, walking around her block every morning, even if it was just 10 minutes. At first, she was slow, leaning on her cane more than she liked, but she stuck with it. She added little challenges, picking up her pace for 30 seconds, then resting. Over months, she ditched the cane, straightened her posture, and now she's clocking a brisk 15-minute mile. Her doctor's amazed, and Sarah feels stronger than she has in years. That's the power of paying attention to your pace. So how do you get started if your walking speed's not where you want it to be? It's simpler than you think. First, just move more. Walking's free, doesn't need fancy equipment, and you can do it anywhere. Start with what you can handle. Maybe 5 minutes around your living room or down the driveway. Focus on keeping your steps steady and your head up. If you're wobbly, hold onto a wall or chair at first. Safety matters. Gradually build up. 10 minutes, then 15, then maybe a loop around the park. The goal isn't to run a marathon. It's to wake your body up and remind it what it's capable of. If you want to take it up a notch, add some strength training. Your legs need muscle to power through each step, so try simple exercises like leg lifts or squats. You don't need a gym. Stand up from a chair 10 times in a row, holding the backrest if you need to. Or grab a couple of soup cans and do calf raises while you're waiting for the kettle to boil. A study from the National Institute on Aging found that older adults who added light strength training to their routine improved their walking speed by up to 20% in just 6 months. That's not just numbers, that's real, tangible change you can feel. And don't sleep on balance. If you're unsteady, your pace will suffer. Practice standing on one leg while brushing your teeth. Start with 5 seconds and work up. Or walk heel to toe like you're on a tightrope. Safely, of course. These little habits rebuild the coordination that keeps you moving smoothly. Pair that with regular walks and you're not just maintaining your speed, you're boosting it. Now let's talk reality. Maybe you're reading this and thinking, I've already slowed down. Am I doomed? Not at all. Think of your walking speed as a wake-up call, not a death knell. It's your body saying, hey, let's get back on track. Look at Tom again. He's not lost yet. If he starts today, maybe a short walk with his wife, a few leg exercises while watching TV, he could close the gap with Linda. It's not about being the fastest guy on the block. It's about being faster than you were yesterday. Every step you take is a vote for a longer, healthier life. Here's a quick test. Next time you're out, time yourself walking 10 yards, about the length of a small room. Can you do it in under 5 seconds without wobbling? If not, don't panic. It's just a starting point. Track it again in a month after you've been moving more. You'll be amazed how much you can improve when you commit. And if you're already a brisk walker like Linda, don't coast, keep pushing. At a hill, pick up your pace or go a little longer. Your body thrives on challenge. At the end of the day, your walking speed isn't just about how fast you get from point A to point B. It's about how long you'll keep going in life. It's a sign you can see, feel, and change. So lace up your shoes, step outside, and take a good look at your pace. Is it strong and steady, or is it telling you it's time to act? The good news is you've got the power to shift the story. Start today, because how you move through the world right now might just predict how many tomorrows you've got left, and how great they'll be. Sign 2, your grip strength. Have you ever thought about what your handshake says about you? Not just your confidence or personality, but something deeper, something about how long you might stick around after 70. It sounds wild, but it's true. The strength in your hands could be one of the clearest signals of how many years you've got left. Researchers have zeroed in on grip strength as a powerhouse indicator of your overall vitality once you hit your 70s and beyond. A firm, steady grip isn't just a party trick. It's a sign your muscles are holding strong, your blood's flowing right, and your nervous system's still firing on all cylinders. On the flip side, if your grip's getting weaker, it might be waving a little warning flag about muscle loss, frailty, or even bigger health risks down the road. Let's unpack why this simple squeeze matters so much, what it's telling you about your future, and how you can turn it around if it's not where you want it to be. Spoiler, it's easier than you think. Picture 2 buddies, Mike and Dave, both 73 years old. Mike's the guy who's always been a bit of a handyman. He's still tinkering in his garage, twisting off stubborn jar lids like it's nothing, and giving you a handshake that makes you feel it. His grip's as solid as ever. He carries groceries without a struggle and even hauls firewood for his backyard pit. Then there's Dave. He used to be right there with Mike, swinging a hammer or cracking open a cold one with ease. But lately, he's noticed a change. Opening a bottle of pickles takes 2 tries, and when he grabs his shopping bags, his hands feel shaky. He brushes it off as just getting older. But what he doesn't see is that his weakening grip might be hinting at something bigger. Mike's strong hands suggest his body's still got plenty of fight left, while Dave's fading strength could mean troubles brewing under the surface. So why does grip strength carry so much weight after 70? It's not just about how well you can hold on to stuff, it's a snapshot of your whole system. Think of your hands as a megaphone for your health. A strong grip means your muscles are in good shape, and not just in your hands, your arms, shoulders, and even your core play a role. Studies, like one from The Lancet, have shown that older adults with better grip strength live longer and dodge major health issues like heart disease or disability. Why? Because muscle strength isn't isolated, it's tied to everything. If your hands are powerful, it's a good bet the rest of your body's keeping up too. But if that grip starts slipping, it's often the first domino to fall, signaling a cascade of decline that could cut your years short. Let's dig into the mechanics. First up, muscle mass. After 70, your body naturally sheds some muscle. It's a fact of aging called sarcopenia. But how much you lose depends on how much you use. A strong grip shows you've still got enough muscle to tackle daily tasks, from carrying a laundry basket to pulling yourself up from a chair. That strength isn't just convenient, it's a shield. Weak muscles mean weak bones, and weak bones mean falls. One bad tumble at 75 can land you in the hospital with a fractured wrist or worse, a busted hip. For someone like Mike, his firm grip keeps him steady and independent. For Dave, that shaky hold might mean he's one misstep away from a life-changing injury. The stats back this up. Research from the Journal of Gerontology found that weaker grip strength doubles the risk of falls in older adults. That's not a small thing, that's your freedom on the line. Then there's circulation. Your grip doesn't work in a vacuum, it needs blood to fuel those muscles. A solid squeeze means your heart's pumping well, pushing oxygen-rich blood to your hands and beyond. It's a sign your cardiovascular system's still got game. Studies have linked stronger grip strength to lower rates of heart attacks and strokes. Pretty big stakes for something as simple as a handshake. If your grip's fading, though, it could mean your circulation's not what it used to be. Maybe your arteries are stiffening, or your blood pressure's creeping up. Dave's struggle with those grocery bags? It's not just his hands. It might be his heart quietly asking for help. And don't overlook your nervous system. Squeezing something takes more than brute force. It's a brain game too. Your nerves have to fire fast and precise, telling your muscles when to contract and how hard. A strong grip shows your brain and nerves are still in sync, keeping you coordinated and quick. But if your hands are trembling or weak, it could point to neurological wear, maybe early signs of Parkinson's, a past mini-stroke, or just plain old nerve fatigue. For Mike, his steady grip is proof his wiring's intact. For Dave, that shakiness might mean his system's starting to glitch. A study from the British Medical Journal even tied weaker grip strength to faster cognitive decline, Your hands and your mind are more connected than you'd think. But here's the game changer. Grip strength isn't set in stone. If you've noticed your hands aren't as strong as they used to be, maybe you're fumbling with keys or avoiding heavy pots, don't write it off as inevitable. You can build it back. Look at Ellen, a 76-year-old grandma who started losing her grip a few years ago. She'd drop her coffee mug one too many times and couldn't open a jar without her son's help. Instead of accepting it, she got to work. She picked up a tennis ball and squeezed it while watching TV, 10 times per hand, a few rounds a day. First, it felt awkward, but she kept at it. 6 months later, she's twisting lids off like a champ and carrying her grandkids' backpacks without a hitch. Her doctor says her strength's up 30%. Not bad for a little ball and some determination. Ready to test your own grip? It's easy. Grab a friend's hand and give it a good shake. Does it feel firm? Or do you barely make an impression? Or try this, hold a full water bottle in one hand. Can you keep it steady for 10 seconds without trembling? If your grip's weak, don't sweat it. It's a starting line, not a finish. The fix is simple and doesn't need a gym membership. Start with that tennis ball trick. Squeeze it 10 times per hand, 3 times a day. It's small, but it wakes your muscles up. Or pick up a pair of light hand grippers from the store. They're cheap and portable. Aim for 15 reps per hand, building up as you go. A study from the American Journal of Preventive Medicine found that just 8 weeks of grip exercises boosted strength by 25% in older adults. That's real progress you can feel. Want more? Add some light weights. Grab a couple of 1-pound dumbbells or even 2 cans of soup, and do wrist curls while you're waiting for dinner to cook. Sit down, rest your forearms on your thighs, and curl the weight up and down 10 times. It's not about bulking up. It's about keeping your hands in the fight. Pair that with everyday tasks. Carry your groceries instead of using a cart, or twist open jars instead of handing them off. Every little effort stacks up, making your grip and your whole body more resilient. And here's a bonus. Grip strength isn't just about your hands. It's a full body boost. When you work your grip, you're engaging your forearms, shoulders, even your core for stability. It's like a secret weapon that spills over into everything else. Better grip means better balance, stronger lifts, and less chance of dropping your phone mid-text. For someone like Dave, starting small could mean the difference between staying independent and needing help down the line. Imagine him a year from now, stronger hands, steadier steps, and a little more swagger in his stride. That's not a pipe dream. That's what happens when you take your grip seriously. Let's get real for a second. If your grip's weak, it doesn't mean you're on borrowed time. It's a nudge, not a verdict. Think of it like a car's check engine light. Ignore it and you might break down. Fix it and you're back on the road. Mike's strong grip keeps him cruising, but Dave's not out of gas yet. If he starts today, squeezing that ball, lifting those cans, he could catch up. It's not about being the strongest guy in the room. It's about being stronger than you were last week. Every squeeze is a step toward a longer, healthier life. Here's a quick challenge. Test your grip right now. Squeeze your hand into a fist as hard as you can. Hold it for 5 seconds. Feel solid? Great. Keep it up. Feel weak or shaky? That's your cue to act. Track it again in a month after some practice. You'll see the difference. And if you're already crushing it like Mike, push further. Try a heavier gripper or add reps. Your hands are built to last. Give them the chance to prove it. In the end, your grip strength isn't just about holding on to things. It's about holding on to life. It's a sign you can measure, improve, and own. So next time you shake someone's hand or pick up a bag, pay attention. Is your grip strong and steady? Or is it telling you it's time to fight back? The good news is you've got the tools to change it. Start squeezing, start lifting, and watch how a little strength in your hands can add big years to your future. Sign 3, your ability to stand on one leg. When was the last time you tried standing on one leg, just for kicks? Maybe you haven't thought about it since you were a kid, hopping around the playground without a care. But here's the thing. Once you're past 70, your ability to balance on one foot for at least 10 seconds isn't just a fun trick. It's one of the strongest clues about how long you'll live and how well you'll thrive. Researchers have zeroed in on balance as a make-or-break factor for longevity, and it's not hard to see why. If you can lift one leg and hold steady, it's a sign your body's still got it. Strong muscles, sharp coordination, and a brain that's on point. But if you wobble or topple the second you try, it might be a quiet alarm bell about declining strength, shaky nerves, or even bigger trouble brewing. Let's break down why balance matters so much after 70, what it's really telling you, and how you can get it back if it's slipping away. Trust me, this is one sign you don't want to ignore. Imagine two sisters, Grace and Helen, both 71 years old. Grace is the active one. She's always been a mover. She walks her neighborhood daily, does a little yoga on the weekends, and can stand on one leg for 20 seconds without breaking a sweat. Her posture's straight, her steps are sure, and she's still chasing her grandkids around the yard. Helen, though, has taken a different path. She used to keep up with Grace, hiking trails and dancing at family parties. But over the last few years, she's slowed down. She doesn't get out as much, and when she tries standing on one foot, just to see, she's grabbing the counter within 2 seconds, laughing it off as old age. Grace's balance says her body's still firing on all cylinders, while Helen's wobbling might be hinting that something's off. The gap between them isn't just about coordination, it's about what's happening inside. So why does something as simple as standing on one leg predict how long you'll live? It's like a full-body stress test you can do in your kitchen. Being able to balance for 10 seconds or more shows your health's in top shape across the board. Your muscles are strong enough to hold you up, your nervous system's quick enough to adjust, and your brain's sharp enough to keep it all together. Studies, like one from the British Journal of Sports Medicine, have found that older adults who ace this test have lower rates of falls, injuries, and even cognitive decline. They're the ones staying independent, active, and out of the hospital. But if you can't hold steady, it's not just a stumble waiting to happen. It's a sign your body's foundation might be cracking. And at 70 plus, that's a big deal. Let's unpack this. First, there's muscle strength. Balancing on one leg isn't just standing still, it's work. Your calves, thighs, and core kick in to keep you upright, fighting gravity with every second. If you can do it, your muscles are still solid, giving you the power to move through life without toppling. That strength is a lifeline. Falls are the leading cause of injury for older adults, and one bad spill can mean a broken hip or a long recovery. For Grace, her steady stance means she's less likely to trip over a rug or slip on ice. But for Helen, that shaky balance could spell trouble. Her muscles might be weakening from sitting too much, and without that stability, she's a fall risk waiting to happen. Research backs this up. The American Geriatric Society found that poor balance triples the chance of falls after 70. That's not just a stat, that's your mobility on the line. Then there's your nervous system. Balance isn't automatic. It's a dance between your brain, nerves, and muscles. When you lift one foot, your body's sensors kick into gear, sending signals to adjust your position in real time. A steady hold shows your nerves are still fast and precise, keeping you coordinated. But if you're tipping over, it might mean those signals are getting fuzzy. Maybe your nerves are wearing down from age, or maybe there's an early hint of something like neuropathy or Parkinson's. Grace's smooth balance proves her wiring's intact. Her body reacts without missing a beat. Helen's wobble, though, could mean her nervous system's not keeping up, making every step a little riskier. And don't sleep on your brain. Balancing takes focus. Your mind has to process where you are in space and tell your body what to do. A 10-second stand shows your brain's still sharp, handling those split-second decisions. Studies from the Journal of Neurology have tied poor balance to faster cognitive decline. Think memory slips or trouble concentrating. It's not that falling makes you forget. It's that the same brain changes affecting balance might be hitting your thinking too. Grace's steady leg is a green light for her mental clarity. Helen's quick grab for the counter? It might be a yellow flag that her brain's struggling to keep the show on the road. But here's the best news. Balance isn't a lost cause. If you've noticed yourself stumbling more, leaning on walls, or failing the one-leg test, you can rebuild it. Take Jim, a 75-year-old retiree who used to trip over his own feet. A year ago, he couldn't stand on one leg for more than 3 seconds without flailing. He'd laugh it off, but after a close call on the stairs, he got serious. He started small, holding onto a chair and lifting one foot for 5 seconds twice a day. It was shaky at first, but he kept going. Then he ditched the chair, standing free for 10 seconds, then 15. Now he's up to 30 seconds aside, and he's walking taller than ever. His doctor says his fall risks dropped 40%, all from a few minutes of practice. That's the magic of balance. It's trainable, no matter where you start. So how do you get there? It's simpler than you'd think. Start with the basics. Stand on one leg. Find a spot near a wall or chair for safety. Lift one foot a few inches off the ground and hold it. Aim for 5 seconds at first. Don't worry if you wobble. Just reset and try again. Do it 3 times per leg, morning and night. Once that's easy, push to 10 seconds, then 20. The goal's not perfection. It's progress. A study from the National Institute on Aging found that older adults who practiced this daily improved their balance by 50% in just 12 weeks. That's not just standing, it's living better. Want to level up? Try Tai Chi. It's slow, gentle, and perfect for building balance. The flowing moves wave hands like clouds. Strengthen your legs and sharpen your coordination. Classes are everywhere, or you can follow a YouTube video at home. Jim added Tai Chi twice a week, and it's why he's so steady now. Or walk heel to toe, like you're on a tightrope, 10 steps forward, 10 back. It's a mini balance boot camp you can do in your hallway. Pair it with strength moves. Stand up from a chair without using your hands, 10 times a day. It fires up your legs and core, making that one leg stand a breeze. And here's a pro tip. Do it daily. Balance isn't a one-and-done fix. It's a habit. Brush your teeth on one leg, wait for the microwave with one foot up, or practice while the coffee brews. Little moments add up, rewiring your body to stay steady. If you're already a pro like Grace, challenge yourself. Close your eyes or stand on a cushion. Keeps your edge sharp and your years long. Let's get real. If you can't balance now, it doesn't mean you're doomed. It's a wake-up call, not a sentence. Think of Helen. She's not out of the game. If she starts today holding that chair for 5 seconds, she could catch up to Grace. It's not about being a gymnast. It's about being better than yesterday. Every second you hold is a win for your muscles, nerves, and brain. And if you're already steady, don't coast. Push it further. Your balance is your ticket to staying in the driver's seat of life. Try this right now. Stand up, lift one foot, and count to 10. Can you do it without swaying? If yes, awesome, keep it strong. If no, don't stress. It's your baseline. Test it again in a month. After some practice, you'll feel the difference. Grace's steady stance keeps her chasing grandkids. Helen's wobble could change with a little effort. Where do you stand? At its core, your ability to balance isn't just about staying upright. It's about staying alive and kicking. It's a sign you can see, feel, and fix. So next time you're up, give it a shot. Is your balance rock solid? Or is it asking for some TLC? The good news is you've got the power to shift it. Start standing, start moving, and watch how a little stability today can add big, vibrant years to your tomorrow. Sign 4. Your sleeping patterns. How's your sleep these days? Not just how long you're in bed, but how well you're actually resting. Do you wake up feeling ready to take on the day? Or are you dragging yourself out from under the covers, still foggy and worn out? Once you're past 70, the quality of your sleep isn't just about how perky you feel in the morning. It's one of the biggest clues about how long you'll live and how healthy those years will be. Studies show that people who clock consistent, high-quality sleep, around 7 hours a night, tend to stick around longer with sharper minds and stronger bodies. But if your nights are restless, interrupted, or leave you exhausted, it's not just a rough morning waiting for you. It could be a sign of bigger trouble down the road, from heart issues to memory slips. Let's dive into why sleep matters so much after 70, what it's telling you about your future, and how you can fix it if it's gone off the rails. Because here's the truth. How you rest tonight could shape how many tomorrows you've got left. Picture 2 old friends, Clara and Ed, both 74 years old. Clara's got sleep dialed in. She's in bed by 10 p.m., out like a light, and up at 6 feeling refreshed. 7 solid hours, night after night. She's the one brewing coffee with a clear head, tackling her crossword puzzle, and keeping up with her book club. Ed, though, is a different story. He used to sleep like a rock, but lately his nights are a mess. He tosses and turns, wakes up 3 or 4 times, and sometimes stares at the ceiling for hours before drifting off. By morning, he's groggy, forgetting where he parked his car, and snapping at the dog over nothing. Clara's steady sleep keeps her humming along, while Ed's rough nights might be hinting that his health's taking a hit. The difference isn't just how they feel. It's what's happening inside their bodies while the lights are out. So why does sleep quality hold so much power after 70? It's not just about resting your eyes. It's when your whole system hits the reset button. Those 7 hours of good, uninterrupted sleep are like a tune-up for your body and brain. Your immune system ramps up, repairing cells and fighting off invaders. Your heart gets a break, slowing down and keeping blood pressure in check. And your brain, it's busy flushing out toxins, sorting memories, and keeping itself sharp. Research, like a landmark study from the National Institutes of Health, shows that older adults with consistent, high-quality sleep have lower risks of heart disease, diabetes, and dementia. They're the ones staying active, engaged, and out of the doctor's office. But if your sleep's choppy or shallow, that repair shop shuts down early, leaving you vulnerable. It's not just a bad night. It's a missed chance to heal. Let's break it down. First, there's recovery. Sleep's when your body fixes what the day broke down. Muscles mend, tissues rebuild, and your immune system churns out warriors to keep you healthy. For Clara, those 7 hours mean her body's ready for whatever's next, whether it's a brisk walk or fighting off a cold. But for Ed, those broken nights mean less repair time. His muscles ache more, his energy's shot, and a sniffle turns into a week-long cough. A study from the Journal of Sleep Research found that poor sleep after 70 weakens immunity by up to 30%. That's not just feeling tired, that's your defenses crumbling. Without that nightly reset, your body's running on fumes, and over time, that wear adds up. Then there's your heart. When you sleep well, your ticker gets a breather, blood pressure dips, heart rate slows, and your whole cardiovascular system chills out. It's called the nocturnal dip, and it's a big deal. Clara's steady nights keep her heart happy, lowering her odds of hypertension or a stroke. But Ed's restless sleep is a stress test he doesn't need. Waking up over and over spikes his blood pressure, and shallow rest keeps his heart on edge. The American Heart Association ties poor sleep to a 48% higher risk of heart disease in older adults. Ed's grumpiness might be the least of his worries. Bad sleep isn't just annoying. It's a quiet strain on the engine that keeps you going. And your brain's in the mix too. Ever heard of the glymphatic system? It's your brain's janitor sweeping out junk like amyloid plaques, stuff linked to Alzheimer's while you snooze. Deep, consistent sleep keeps that cleanup crew on the job, sharpening your memory and focus. Clara's crossword skills? Thank her solid nights. But Ed's fragmented sleep means less cleanup. His brain's foggy, his recall's spotty, and he's misplacing his keys more often. A study from neurology found that older adults with poor sleep patterns have a 27% higher chance of cognitive decline. It's not just forgetting names, it's your mind losing ground. Sleep's not optional. It's your brain's lifeline. But here's the silver lining. Sleep quality isn't a life sentence. If you're waking up tired, struggling to stay asleep, or clocking way less than 7 hours, you can turn it around. Look at Ruth, a 72-year-old who used to be a night owl with a revenge streak. She'd stay up past midnight scrolling her phone, then wake up at 8 feeling like a zombie. Maybe 5 hours of choppy sleep. She'd nod off during the day, forget appointments, and feel like her spark was gone. Then she got fed up. She set a bedtime, 10:30 p.m., and stuck to it. No screens an hour before, just a book and a dim lamp. At first, it was rough, her mind raced, but she kept at it. Now, she's hitting 7 hours, waking up clear-headed, and even gardening again. Her doctor says her blood pressure's down 10 points, all from fixing her sleep. That's the power of a good night. So how do you get there? Start with a routine. Pick a bedtime, say 10 p.m., and stick to it even on weekends. Your body loves consistency. It's like setting an internal clock. Aim for 7 to 8 hours. Less than 6 or more than 9 can backfire after 70. Ruth's 10:30 to 6 groove works because it's predictable. Next, ditch the screens. That blue light from your phone or TV tricks your brain into thinking it's daytime, killing melatonin, the sleep hormone. Swap it for a book or soft music an hour before bed. A study from the Sleep Foundation found that cutting screen time boosts sleep quality by 20% in just a week. It's not hard, it's a trade-off that pays off. Want more? Get some sun. Morning light, 15 minutes outside with your coffee, resets your circadian rhythm, making nighttime sleep deeper. Clara swears by her porch time. Ed's missing out, cooped up indoors. And watch what you eat. Heavy meals or caffeine past 3 p.m. can keep you wired. Stick to light snacks if you're hungry late. Pair that with winding down. A warm bath, some deep breathing, or a quick stretch. It tells your body, hey, it's time to rest. If you're still waking up a lot, check for sleep apnea. Snoring or gasping could mean a trip to the doc. Small tweaks add up fast. Let's keep it real. If your sleep's a mess, it doesn't mean you're toast. It's a nudge, not a nail in the coffin. Ed's not done. He could start tonight, lights out at 10, phone off, and see where he's at in a month. It's not about perfect sleep. It's about better sleep. Every hour you gain is a win for your heart, brain, and immune system. And if you're already sleeping like Clara, don't slack. Keep that routine tight. Your rest is your fuel, don't run on empty. Try this tonight. Set a bedtime, skip the screen, and see how you feel tomorrow. Wake up refreshed? You're golden, keep it up. Still wiped? That's your cue to tweak. Track it for a week, you'll spot the shift. Clara's clear head keeps her thriving. Ed's fog could lift with some effort. Where do you land? At its heart, your sleep isn't just about closing your eyes. It's about keeping your whole system running strong. It's a sign you can hear, feel, and fix. So tonight, check in. Are you resting deep and steady? Or is your sleep begging for a reboot? The good news is you've got the keys to change it. Start shutting down, start resting right, and watch how a solid night today can stack up to healthier, longer years ahead. Sign 5, your appetite and eating habits. How's your appetite these days? Do you still look forward to your meals, savoring every bite? Or has food started to feel like more of a chore than a pleasure? Once you're past 70, the way you eat, how much you want to eat, and what you put on your plate can tell you a lot about how long you'll live and how strong you'll stay. A healthy appetite paired with a balanced diet isn't just about staying full. It's a powerhouse that keeps your body humming, your energy up, and your immune system ready to fight. But if your appetite's fading or your eating habits are slipping, it's not just a picky phase. It could be a quiet signal that something's off, from hidden health issues to a faster slide into frailty. Let's dig into why your eating habits matter so much after 70, what they're revealing about your future, and how you can turn things around if your plate's looking a little empty. Because here's the deal. What you eat today could decide how many healthy tomorrows you've got left. Imagine 2 neighbors, Betty and George, both 73 years old. Betty's a food lover. She's always in the kitchen, whipping up a colorful plate of grilled chicken, veggies, and a side of quinoa. She eats with gusto, keeps her weight steady, and has the energy to tend her garden or play cards with friends. George, though, has lost his spark for food. He used to enjoy big dinners with his family, but now he skips breakfast, nibbles on a cracker or 2 for lunch, and maybe heats up a frozen meal if he's lucky. He's dropped a few pounds without meaning to, and he's feeling weaker, more tired, like the wind's gone out of his sails. Betty's hearty appetite keeps her strong and vibrant, while George's fading interest might be whispering that his health's on shaky ground. The gap between them isn't just about taste. It's about what's fueling their bodies for the long haul. So why does your appetite matter so much after 70? It's not just about enjoying a good meal. It's your body's fuel gauge. A strong appetite and a balanced diet mean you're giving yourself the raw materials to keep going. Protein for muscles, vitamins for immunity, carbs for energy. Studies, like one from the Journal of Nutrition, show that older adults who eat well and maintain a healthy weight live longer, dodge chronic diseases, and stay independent. They're the ones climbing stairs, lifting grandkids, and laughing off colds. But if your appetite's shrinking or your meals are skimpy, you're running on low. It's not just hunger. It's a sign your tank's nearing empty, and that can spell trouble for everything from your strength to your survival. Let's break it down. First, there's energy. Food's your battery pack. Without it, you're drained. Betty's balanced meals keep her buzzing all day, powering her through walks and chores. Her body's got the calories and nutrients to repair itself, fight fatigue, and stay active. But George? His skimpy eating leaves him sluggish. His muscles aren't rebuilding, his stamina's shot, and he's napping more than moving. A study from the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that poor nutrition after 70 cuts energy levels by up to 40%. That's not just feeling lazy, that's your body shutting down. Without fuel, you're not just tired, you're weaker, and that's a domino effect waiting to happen. Then there's immunity. Your appetite feeds your defenses. Vitamins like C and D, zinc, and protein keep your immune system sharp. Betty's colorful plates, think spinach, salmon, and berries, arm her against infections, helping her bounce back fast. But George's bare-bones diet? It's starving his immune crew. A cracker and a microwave meal don't cut it. He's more likely to catch every bug going around and take longer to recover. Research from the National Institute on Aging ties low nutrient intake to a 35% higher risk of illness in older adults. That's not just a sniffle, that's your body losing its shield. And don't forget your muscles. After 70, you're already fighting sarcopenia, natural muscle loss. A good appetite and protein-rich foods like eggs, beans, or lean meat slow that slide, keeping you sturdy. Betty's steady weight and strength mean she's still hauling grocery bags without a hitch. George, though, is losing more than he should. His shrinking appetite isn't feeding his muscles. They're breaking down faster, leaving him frail and wobbly. The Journal of Gerontology links poor eating habits to a 50% higher chance of frailty after 70. Think falls, injuries, and needing help to get by. Food's not just flavor. It's your foundation. But here's the kicker. A fading appetite isn't normal aging. It's a red flag. If you're not hungry, feeling full too fast, or dropping weight without trying, something's up. Maybe it's digestion, slow stomach emptying, or low acid making meals sit heavy. Or hormones, ghrelin, your hunger signal, can dip with age. Could even be early signs of something bigger like depression, thyroid trouble, or dementia. George might shrug it off, but his body's talking. Betty's thriving because she listens to hers. The good news? You can fix it, whether it's tweaking your habits or getting a doctor's take. Take Mary, a 75-year-old who saw her appetite tank a few years back. She'd pick at her food, skip meals, and lost 10 pounds she didn't mean to. She felt weak, her clothes hung loose, and her kids were worried. Then she took charge. She started small, 3 little meals a day, even if she wasn't starving. Oatmeal with nuts for breakfast, a turkey sandwich for lunch, some fish and veggies for dinner. She added flavor spices, herbs, to wake her taste buds up. A month in, her hunger crept back, her energy lifted, and she gained a few pounds of muscle. Her doc ruled out anything serious, and now she's back to hosting potlucks. That's the power of paying attention to your plate. So how do you keep your appetite strong? Or get it back? Start with balance. Aim for whole foods. Lean protein, chicken, fish, tofu, veggies, broccoli, carrots, healthy fats, nuts, olive oil, and carbs, brown rice, sweet potatoes. Betty's plate's a rainbow, yours can be too. Eat 3 times a day, even if it's small, don't skip. A study from the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics found that regular meals boost nutrient intake by 25% in older adults. It's not about stuffing yourself, it's about steady fuel. If hunger's low, spark it. Cook with garlic, lemon, or pepper. Flavor pulls you in. Eat with friends, social meals make you want more. Mary's potlucks, they're her secret weapon. And stay hydrated, dehydration kills appetite. Sip water all day, not just at meals. If you're still off, track it, losing weight or skipping too much. See a doc. Could be meds, dental issues, or something deeper. Fix the root, and your fork's your friend again. Let's get practical. If your appetite's solid, keep it rocking. Try new recipes, mix up your veggies, stay curious. Betty's thriving because she loves her food. But if you're like George, don't wait. Start tonight. Grill a little salmon, steam some greens, see how it sits. No hunger? Nibble anyway, your body needs it. Pair it with a walk or a chat, tie eating to living. Every bite's a vote for strength. Here's the real talk. A weak appetite doesn't mean you're done. It's a nudge, not a knockout. George isn't sunk. He could start tomorrow, a little soup, a little effort, and build from there. It's not about gourmet feasts. It's about feeding your future. And if you're eating like Betty, don't coast, keep it fresh. Your plate's your power, don't let it go stale. Try this today. Sit down, make a small, tasty meal. Maybe eggs and toast with avocado. Enjoy it slow. Feel good? You're golden, keep it up. Still blah? That's your cue to dig deeper. Betty's energy keeps her gardening. George's fade could lift with some focus. Where's your appetite at? At its core, your eating habits aren't just about filling your stomach. They're about fueling your life. It's a sign you can taste, tweak, and own. So next time you're at the table, check in. Are you eating with gusto, or is your appetite asking for help? The good news is you've got the spoon to change it. Start eating smart, start feeding your strength, and watch how a full plate today can stack up to fuller, healthier years ahead. Sign 6. Your ability to handle stress. How do you handle life's curveballs? Do you roll with the punches, keeping your cool when things get tough? Or do you feel the weight of every worry piling up, wearing you down? Once you're past 70, your ability to manage stress isn't just about staying calm in the moment. It's one of the clearest signs of how long you'll live and how healthy those years will be. People who handle stress well, through deep breaths, a chat with a friend, or a steady mindset, tend to keep their hearts strong, their brains sharp, and their bodies resilient. But if stress festers, lingering like a storm that won't pass, it's not just a bad day waiting for you. It's a slow burn that could cut your years short with heart trouble, memory fog, or worse. Let's unpack why stress management matters so much after 70, what it's saying about your future, and how you can take control if it's running the show. Because here's the truth. How you deal with stress today could shape how many tomorrows you've got left, and how good they feel. Picture 2 retirees, Alice and Ray, both 76 years old. Alice has her moments. Bills pile up, the grandkids cancel a visit, but she's got a knack for keeping it in check. She takes a deep breath, calls a friend to vent, and lets it go by supper time. She's still laughing at her knitting club, gardening with gusto, and sleeping like a baby. Ray, though, is wired differently. He used to shrug things off, but now every hiccup, car trouble, a sore knee, sticks with him. He's up at night worrying, snapping at his wife over nothing, and feeling like the world's closing in. Alice's calm approach keeps her steady and strong, while Ray's stress spiral might be chipping away at his health. The difference isn't just their mood. It's what's happening inside when the pressure hits. So why does stress management carry so much weight after 70? It's not just about feeling zen, it's about what stress does to your body when it sticks around. Chronic stress is like a low-grade fire smoldering under the surface. It triggers inflammation, your body's panic mode, which wreaks havoc over time. But if you can douse that fire with good habits, you're protecting your heart, your brain, and your whole system. Studies, like one from the American Psychological Association, show that older adults who manage stress effectively have lower rates of heart disease, Alzheimer's, and even early death. They're the ones staying active, sharp, and in the game. But if stress runs wild, it's not just a headache. It's a slow grind that ages you faster than you'd like. Let's dig in. First, there's your heart. Stress hits your ticker hard. When you're tense, your body pumps cortisol and adrenaline, spiking your blood pressure and heart rate. Alice's quick reset, deep breaths, a walk, lets her heart settle back down, keeping it steady. But Ray's constant worry is like revving an engine with no brake. His blood pressure's up, his arteries are stiffening, and his heart's working overtime. The American Heart Association links chronic stress to a 40% higher risk of heart attacks in older adults. That's not just nerves, that's your lifeline under siege. Good stress management isn't fluff, it's a shield for your chest. Then there's inflammation. Stress doesn't just rattle your mind, it lights a match in your body. That inflammation messes with everything. Joints ache, immunity dips, and diseases creep in. Alice's calm vibe, chatting with friends, letting go, keeps that fire low, protecting her from arthritis flare-ups or infections. Ray, though, his stress keeps the flames high. His knees hurt more, he's catching colds left and right, and he's feeling older than he is. A study from the Journal of Aging Research found that chronic stress boosts inflammation markers by 30% in people over 70. That's not just a stiff back, that's your body breaking down. And your brain's on the line too. Stress floods your head with cortisol, shrinking the hippocampus, the memory hub, and fogging your thinking. Alice's clear mind, thanks to her stress-busting tricks, keeps her recalling names and cracking jokes. But Ray's endless worry is clouding his brain, forgetting appointments, losing his train of thought, and feeling scattered. Research from neurology ties high stress to a 25% faster cognitive decline after 70. Think confusion, not just grumpiness. Managing stress isn't just peace. It's keeping your mind yours. But here's the game changer. You're not stuck with stress. If you're feeling tense, irritable, or weighed down more than usual, you can shift it. Look at Tom, a 74-year-old who used to stew over everything. Traffic, politics, you name it. He'd grind his teeth at night, wake up exhausted, and feel like a fuse ready to blow. Then he tried something new. He started with 5 minutes of deep breathing, slow inhales, long exhales when the tension hit. Felt weird, but it worked. He added a daily walk, just 15 minutes, to clear his head. Now he's calmer, sleeping better, and even laughing more. His doctor says his blood pressure's down 15 points. That's the power of taking stress by the reins. So how do you start? First, breathe. When stress creeps in, say a bill lands or the news gets heavy, pause. Inhale for 4 seconds, hold for 4, exhale for 6. Do it 5 times. It's simple, free, and flips your body from fight or flight to calm and cool. A study from the Journal of Clinical Psychology found that deep breathing cuts stress hormones by 20% in older adults. Tom's proof it works. Pair it with a quick reset. Step outside, feel the air, let the moment pass. It's not ignoring problems. It's giving your body a break. Want more? Move. Exercise is a stress shredder, nothing fancy, just motion. A 20-minute walk, a little stretching, or even chair squats if you're indoors. It burns off cortisol and pumps endorphins, your natural chill pill. Alice's gardening is her secret weapon. Ray could start with a lap around the block, small steps, big relief. The National Institute on Aging says 30 minutes of movement a day slashes stress by 35% in people over 70. That's not just sweat, that's sanity. And don't sleep on connection. Talking it out with a buddy, a neighbor, even your dog, lifts the load. Alice's knitting club doubles as her therapy. Laughter and yarn beat worry every time. Ray's bottled up, he could call his old fishing pal, swap a story, feel lighter. A study from psychosomatic medicine found that social ties cut stress effects by 50% in older adults. Company's medicine. Or try mindfulness. 5 minutes of quiet, focusing on your breath or a bird outside. It's not woo-woo. It's wiring your brain to chill. Let's keep it real. If stress is your shadow, it doesn't mean you're sunk. It's a signal, not a sentence. Ray's not out. He could breathe deep tonight, walk tomorrow, and see the fog lift. It's not about zero stress. It's about less stress. Every calm moment's a win for your heart, brain, and body. And if you're handling it like Alice, don't coast. Keep those tricks sharp. Your cool head's your strength. Don't let it slip. Try this now. Next time you're tense, maybe the phone bill's late, stop. Breathe slow, 4, 6, 5 times. Feel better? You're gold, keep it up. Still wired? That's your cue to move or call someone. Alice's peace keeps her gardening. Ray's storm could clear with effort. Where's your stress at? At its root, your ability to handle stress isn't just about staying sane. It's about staying alive and thriving. It's a sign you can feel, tame, and master. So next time life hits, check in. Are you brushing it off? Or is stress running you ragged? The good news is you've got the tools to flip it. Start breathing, start moving, and watch how a little calm today can stack up to stronger, longer years ahead. Sign 7, your social connections. Who's in your corner these days? Do you have people you laugh with, lean on, or just share a quiet coffee with? Or are you spending more time solo than you used to? Once you're past 70, the strength of your social ties, your friends, family, or even that neighbor you wave to, can be one of the biggest clues about how long you'll live and how good those years will feel. Studies show that folks with solid relationships tend to stick around longer, with healthier bodies and sharper minds. But if you're drifting into isolation, feeling lonely more often than not, it's not just a quiet day waiting for you. It could be a slow slide toward depression, heart trouble, or worse. Let's dive into why your social connections matter so much after 70, what they're telling you about your future, and how you can rebuild them if they've faded. Because here's the deal. The people around you today could decide how many vibrant tomorrows you've got left. Picture two old pals, Rose and Sam, both 78 years old. Rose is a social butterfly. She's got her weekly bingo crew, chats with her daughter every Sunday, and never misses a chance to catch up over tea with her neighbor. She's always got a story to tell, a laugh to share, and a sparkle in her eye. Sam, though, has pulled back. He used to be the life of the party, barbecues, fishing trips, the works, but lately he's alone more often. His buddies have moved or passed on, he's stopped calling his kids, and most days it's just him and the TV. Rose's web of connections keeps her thriving, while Sam's growing solitude might be dimming his light. The difference isn't just who's around, it's what those ties are doing for their health and happiness. So why do social connections hold so much power after 70? It's not just about having someone to talk to, it's about what those bonds do for your whole system. Relationships are like a secret fuel. They lift your mood, lower your stress, and even keep your body ticking. Research, like the famous Harvard study of adult development, shows that people with strong social ties live longer, dodge chronic diseases, and stay mentally sharp. They're the ones dancing at weddings, gardening with grandkids, and brushing off colds. But if you're cut off, lonely, or isolated, it's not just boredom. It's a quiet strain that wears you down faster than you'd think. Your social life isn't fluff. It's a lifeline. Let's break it down. First, there's your heart. Connections keep your ticker happy. When you're with people you care about, your body pumps out oxytocin, the feel-good hormone, calming your stress and steadying your blood pressure. Rose's bingo nights and family calls? They're like medicine, her heart strong, her risks low. But Sam's solitude? Distress in disguise. Loneliness spikes cortisol, raising blood pressure and straining arteries. The American Heart Association ties isolation to a 29% higher risk of heart disease in older adults. That's not just missing a party, that's your pulse under pressure. Good relationships aren't just warm fuzzies. They're armor for your chest. Then there's your brain. Socializing keeps your mind buzzing. Every chat, laugh, or shared memory fires up your neurons, keeping you sharp. Rose's storytelling at tea? It's brain food, her memories crisp, her focus tight. But Sam's quiet days? They're starving his head. Loneliness shrinks the hippocampus, the memory center, and dulls your thinking. A study from the Journal of Neurology found that isolated older adults face a 50% higher risk of dementia. That's not just forgetting keys, that's losing yourself. Connection isn't just fun. It's your mind's workout, and your body feels it too. Friends and family boost your immunity. Less stress, better sleep, more reasons to move. Rose's active social life keeps her colds short and her energy high. Sam, though? His loneliness weakens his defenses. He's sicker longer, more tired, more frail. Research from psychosomatic medicine shows that social isolation cuts immune response by 25% in people over 70. That's not just a sniffle, that's your body giving up ground. Relationships don't just lift your spirits, they lift your strength. But here's the kicker. Loneliness isn't just being alone. It's feeling alone. You can be in a crowd and still ache, or live solo and feel fine if you've got ties that matter. If you're pulling back, skipping calls, dodging invites, or letting days go by without a real talk, it's a sign. Sam might say he's fine, but his body's not buying it. Rose thrives because she stays plugged in. The good news? You're not stuck. You can rebuild those bridges no matter how far they've drifted. Take Linda, a 77-year-old who hit a lonely patch after her husband passed. She'd sit home, skip her old book club, and let the phone gather dust. She felt down, her appetite faded, and her knees ached more. Then she shook it off. She started small, called an old friend, just to say hi. It was awkward, but they laughed. She joined a local walking group. 10 minutes a week turned into 30. Now, she's got coffee dates, a new pen pal, and a spring in her step. Her doctor says her mood's up and her blood pressure's down 10 points. That's the magic of reaching out, one connection at a time. So how do you keep your social web strong, or weave it back? Start simple. Pick up the phone. Call a kid, a cousin, a buddy, 5 minutes, no agenda. Rose's Sunday chats? They're gold, try it. Or text, short and sweet works too. A study from the Journal of Aging and Health found that regular contact, once a week, cuts loneliness by 20% in older adults. It's not about grand gestures, it's about staying linked. Want more? Get out there. Join a group church, cards, a class at the rec center. Linda's walking crew is her lifeline, find yours. Even online counts, Zoom a book club or chat in a forum. The National Institute on Aging says 30 minutes of social time a day boosts health markers by 15%. That's not just company, that's vitality. Or host. Invite a neighbor for tea, share a cookie. Small moves build big bonds. And keep it steady. Relationships need tending. Drop a note, say hi, show up. Rose's bingo crew thrives because she's there week after week. Sam could start with one call, his fishing pal might be waiting. Pair it with purpose. Volunteer, help a grandkid with homework. It's not just talk, it's meaning. If you're shy, start tiny. Smile at the mailman, chat with the cashier. Every thread counts. Let's get real. If you're lonely, it doesn't mean you're done. It's a nudge, not a knockout. Sam's not sunk. He could dial a number tomorrow, join a coffee run, and feel the shift. It's not about a packed house. It's about one good tie. And if you're connected like Rose, don't coast. Keep it fresh. Your crew's your fuel. Don't let it fade. Try this today. Reach out, call, text, wave across the fence. Feel lighter? You're golden, keep it rolling. Still solo? That's your cue to step up. Rose's sparkle keeps her dancing. Sam's quiet could hum with effort. Where's your circle? At its heart, your social connections aren't just about who's around. They're about keeping you around. It's a sign you can feel, grow, and own. So next time you're alone, check in. Are you tied in tight, or is isolation creeping? The good news is you've got the line to change it. Start talking, start connecting, and watch how a little company today can stack up to healthier, longer years ahead. So, there you have it. 7 powerful signs straight from your own body, whispering clues about how long you'll live and how strong you'll stay after 70. Your walking speed, grip strength, balance, sleep quality, eating habits, stress management, and social connections. They're not just random quirks. They're your personal roadmap to a longer, healthier life. Take a moment to think. Where do you stand right now? Are you striding through your days with energy and a solid crew by your side? Or have you noticed a few cracks? Maybe a slower step, a restless night, or a quieter phone? Here's the beauty of it. None of this is set in stone. Every single one of these signs is in your hands to shift, tweak, and strengthen. You don't need a fancy lab or a doctor's note to start. The power's already in you, waiting to be tapped. The goal here isn't just to pile on more years. It's to make those years count. Imagine waking up at 80, 85, even 90, feeling sharp, steady, and surrounded by people who light you up. That's not a dream. It's what happens when you listen to these signs and act. Start small if you need to. A brisker walk tomorrow, a tighter squeeze on that tennis ball, a call to an old friend. Little choices stack up, turning warnings into wins. You're not racing against time, you're building it one step, one bite, one laugh at a time. So don't wait for a wake-up call. Let this be it. Your future's not fixed, and the moves you make today can rewrite the story for years to come. And now, a huge thank you to you, our incredible ZenLight 8 viewers. You're the heartbeat of this channel, the reason we dig into the science, share these insights, and keep the conversation going. Every time you watch, comment, or share, you're not just tuning in. You're fueling us to bring you more, to inspire you, and to help you live your best life, no matter your age. We'd love to hear from you. Drop a comment below and tell us, which of these 7 signs hit home for you? Maybe it's your walking speed or how you're handling stress. What's one thing you're going to try after this? Your thoughts light us up, and reading them keeps us motivated to create content that matters. If you found this video helpful, please hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't yet, and ring that bell so you never miss what's next. Share it with a friend or family member because the more we spread this knowledge, the more we all thrive. Thank you for being part of ZenLight 8, for showing up, and for taking these steps with us. You're not just an audience, you're a community, and we're so grateful to have you along for the ride. Here's to more years, more strength, and more joy together. See you in the next video.